It's the next game to us. That's how we've approached every week. It's not about, it's one of 18, so it's about the next opponent. And our kids have done a good job with short-term memory and focusing on the game plan and going out and executing it.
Do you think this group is better than maybe last year? I mean, if you look at some of the games they played.
Well, obviously, if you look at where we were a year ago than where we are here, there's definitely been improvement. I feel like this team has really improved from a year ago. It's a different team, different year, different situation.
What about Baylor?
Well, obviously they're better. I think they're a lot deeper. They've got some great bench play. They've matured. They're more experienced. They're more seasoned.
Do you benefit from coming into this one, having won the last four? Does that help you momentum-wise?
Oh, momentum's always good. Obviously the confidence and, the pop in the kids' step and, the smile on their faces. And, that's what winning does is it gives you confidence for the next one. So, we wish we had the two back we'd lost, but, the ones that we have won, we've worked extremely hard to get those. I love the way we've won our games and how hard these kids are working every day.
Talk about these seniors knowing what it takes to beat Baylor, being one of the few teams that have ever done that, in the last couple of years. Talk about that experience and how that'll benefit them.
Well, I think we've had, good experience and some others that weren't so good. So you draw from every experience, and I think that's us as, human beings every day. You either get better or worse. There's no staying the same. And, obviously we understand why they're successful and their strengths, and, we try to do everything that we can to game plan and be prepared. And, the bottom line is that you've got to play both ends of the floor, at a near perfection level. And I think that we've done that before, and, we'd like to do that again.
How do you feel like Kelsey will match up when you guys are on offense? Do you think her improved athleticism will help kind of draw them out of the paint when she needs to step back?
Well, I think her conditioning level is better overall. Obviously she hasn't shot the basketball from deep as well as we'd like for her to, but she can, and we see it day in and day out in practice. And whether she's at the 5 or 4, we're going to need production point-wise and rebounding-wise from her. We're obviously a better team when she's done that for us and been that, double-digit threat for us all year.
Do you feel like Brittany Griner is the most dominating women's basketball player you've ever seen, Coach?
I think she's by far the most dominating player. She changes everything about the game on the offensive end, the defensive end, the way the game's called. And, I've seen a lot of the great ones in person, from the Host Claws to the Parkers to everybody. She's the most dominant player in the game, and, our league's been blessed to have her, and what she's done for the game will continue to do. Well, I think there are 3 things you have to control, when you play these guys, and the first thing is transition and easy baskets. The second thing is the offensive glass and easy baskets, and the third thing, is making sure that you body up, in any cut. You just can't give up easy baskets. Easy baskets are the key. You've got to make sure that everything is over you and not by you, and, find a way to have great balance defensively.
Last couple times, Baylor's been here. You guys had a great crowd. This game's not going to be televised. Are you expecting to have another great crowd here?
We just want to have a great crowd every night, whether it's Baylor or next Wednesday for our pink game. A great crowd in the Big 12 is something we see night in and night out at home and on the road, and we're just excited about the opportunity for our fans to see, a great Baylor team and, hopefully a great Texas Tech team and a great basketball game tomorrow night.
Talking about this Big 12 schedule, it seems like every week you have a big game, not necessarily this magnitude, but it's a big game, against a good team. Talk about just week in and week out having to face.
Well, just short-term memory. You think about Baylor and, every night they're everyone's game of the year, and we've tried to approach it that it's just as important as any other game, and to have short-term memory in the league, and that's what you have to do, is make sure that the next game on your schedule is just as big as the one before it and the one ahead of it, and take it one at a time, and that's how we're approaching tomorrow night. This is one of 18, and we need it just as bad as we need the other.
Brittany obviously gets a lot of attention, which is very warranted, but, I know a couple of years ago, your guards played really well and shut them down. Do you think that was one of the keys to victory, and you think that's going to be another one Wednesday?
Well, obviously the team and the supporting cast that, surrounds Brittany is absolutely spectacular. And you look at Odyssey at the 1 and Madden and Hayden and how experienced those kids are. And, one of the best freshmen in the country, and Prince coming off the bench this year. And then you've got Pope and Williams inside. And, you've got to understand the importance of not just completely focusing your defense on shutting down Brittany because they're so balanced around her. So it's just great team balance defensively. Again, it comes down to second chance points on the glass and transition defense and not allowing those other kids to have easy looks.
We're really excited. We got to play them before, and it's always fun playing the number one team. We just get pumped, but we're going into it like it's any other game. We have to go and fight for it like every other Big 12 game, so we're all excited.
Some of the older girls on this team, you guys know what it takes to beat Baylor because you've done it in this building. Talk about what you can draw from that experience.
I think in the past we've been composed and just let the game come to us. I think the coaches have been talking about being mentally strong in the game more than physically, and I think in the past we've done that and we've executed in that way. So just outsmarting them and taking control when we can.
You want this one a little more since it's your last game at home against Baylor.
Yeah, definitely. I want every home game, but just for the fans because we appreciate their support so much. But it being Baylor, we have a tough rivalry, so we really want to get this win. And the last game would be good to beat the number one team in the nation for my last home senior game against Baylor. I think both of us just are real competitive, and we play like a competitive team, and we fight to the end, so it's always exciting to watch there and here. So we just want to make it so the fans have a great time, and we have a great time, and we have fun when we do it, get the victory.
Casey, is Brittany Griner the most dominating women's basketball player that you've ever seen or competed against?
She's big. I don't know. She's a great player, and there's a lot of great women's basketball players out there, but she's different in that she takes up so much room in the paint and can cover so much ground. So it's always fun playing against a player like that, and just makes you want to compete more.
Confidence-wise, you guys have to be coming in feeling really good about yourselves going into this game.
Yeah, we're just staying positive and not taking any game for granted. We've been talking about too that we can't relax or anything, and just because we're getting these wins, we have to know how to keep on getting wins over and over again. We've been in this position before in the past, and I think we've made some mistakes, and we've been on a good winning streak and then let it go in the end. So we have to make sure we're old and mature enough to know that we can't do that this time, and we have to keep on playing hard and strong and finishing to the end.
What are you specifically going to have to do defensively against Baylor?
I think I talked about mentally we have to outsmart them. So, just making sure we can't only focus on Brittany Griner. We have to know that there's more athletes on the team, and they have a lot of skilled players. We have to respect their game just as much as we respect hers. So we have to know that, we have to play her tough, but there's also people that are just as capable of scoring double figures on their team that we have to be careful to look out for too.
It's a huge win. It's a huge game. But it's just like any other conference win. It doesn't mean any more than if we beat Iowa State or if we beat Oklahoma or if we beat Oklahoma State. It's just another win, and we're going into the game knowing it's just another game, and we need to win it.
You guys really have developed quite a rivalry over the years with Baylor. Talk about just how you've seen it develop.
Just from my freshman year beating them here and them, wanting to get us back for that game. And even last year, we played 2 close games, and I think just us playing them closer than anybody else in the country has really built up that rivalry.
Are you looking forward to the challenge of going against Griner in the paint?
I'm looking forward to going against the challenge of Baylor. She's not the only person on their team, and we need to keep everybody else under control. She's going to get hers. She's Brittany Griner, but it's the pieces that complement her that we can't let it hurt us.
What is it that you guys do that gives Baylor so much trouble?
I think one thing that we focus on as a team, and one thing that we go into the game focusing on is not being intimidated. They're just another team in the Big 12. And we look at it like that. I think people see Brittany Griner and people see Baylor and they get intimidated and they get scared and they change how they play. And we just want to be aggressive going into the game. We want to be confident and we want to play with a lot of toughness like we've been playing all year.
Is it fair to say, with that said, though, they bring out the best in you?
I think they bring out the best in every team. Knowing you're going against the number one team in the country, you have to play your best in order to win. So I think every team comes out and plays their best against Baylor or gives it their best effort.
I know a couple of years ago and also last year you guys had success offensively by taking Brittany out of the paint. You're able to step back and hit a jumper. Is that something you think you'll try and get going early against Baylor on Wednesday?
Well, when you have somebody that's 6'8" in the paint and then, like a 7'4" wingspan, you got to get her out the paint. That's the whole paint, I think. So that's just one thing we got to focus on. And not be if she's in the paint, we're gonna still go in there. We're gonna still do layups. We're gonna still try to attack. It's nothing that she can't do. She's 6'8", you're right, but she can't block every shot. If she gets 10 blocks, so what? We're still going to shoot 50 shots. So we just got to go in the game being confident and knowing that we got to attack her.
Have you been talking to Jackie at all about what it's like going in there and trying to step back and hit some of those jump shots?
We just know we have to play aggressive. We have to shoot the open shot. There's not going to be another good shot better than the first one that you have. So we want to shoot the open shot, and even getting into the paint is not something that's not going to be there. It's going to be there. She can't. I'm telling you, she can't block every shot. So we're going to stay aggressive, and that's one thing we pride ourselves on is getting in the paint and making an extra pass and doing things like that, and we'll continue to do it.